Hey there YouTube, welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. So today we're talking a little bit about the tires on the Escalade, and it's one of those things where sometimes the tires that you buy you're able to pick out, and other times, like with the Escalade, I bought this car used, traded in a Cruise that I had for it, so the tires that are on it are kind of the tires I was stuck with. The Escalade has a set of Bridgestone Dueler H Alenzas in 285/45 R22 110H. They're mud and snow rated. So here's a good look at the tire tread pattern. So you can kind of see it's got big circumferential lines for moving water. You can see right there is a tire wear mark. So that should be at about 230 seconds. So you can see there's plenty of tire left there. There's not a lot of little like cuts in the tires. So as far as ice traction, I wouldn't expect this to have really good ice traction. And being that it's on a very large vehicle, you're not going to have super great ice traction there anyway. And given the shape and stuff, it's very much more of a highway tire than it is like an all-terrain. So not really meant for four-wheeling, but meant for, you know, probably quiet and comfort going down the road. And I've got the sound meter set up in the passenger seat, but I did want to kind of explain what's under the hood real quick, just in case there's a little bit of a noise difference that, you know, differs from everyone else's. So if you've got an Escalade, a Yukon, Suburban, Tahoe, that kind of thing, and you're wondering, you know, can I run a set of 22s in that size and have the same noise stuff? It could be very similar. The big thing is that I have a aftermarket air intake on it. Otherwise, exhaust is all stock. Nothing else is really done to the vehicle besides that, except for, you know, upgraded plugs and wires, which shouldn't make a difference in noise. But there might be a little extra noise based off of the air intake. Ambient noise. All right, getting on it. 70 miles an hour. You can kind of tell that the tread design is pretty quiet, and it's one of those things where you really don't hear a lot of road noise. They've been very good on all the different types of like Minnesota roads, which there's quite a few different ones, and there's some of them make a lot of weird noises. So far so good on the tires. Now a lot of people do tread depth gauges and stuff like that for tires by a penny. I'm not a big fan of checking it this way, but you can see you can't see the top of his head. So the reason why I don't really like doing the penny is because I'm used to being a tech and actually doing it by a 30 seconds method. So most of the industry standard in the US is by 30 seconds. And you can see this has about 5:30 seconds, getting into like the 4:30 second range. And the top of Abe's head should be about 2:30 seconds. So let's try checking another spot. So that's about 6:30 seconds there in the center. Let's check some other tires. So that one's at about 6:30 seconds as well. Well, 5:30 seconds. This rear one is about 7:30 seconds. So that tells me it's time to rotate the tires. You're wearing out the fronts. And the last rear one. So that one's at 7, maybe 6. So probably a good time to rotate. They've also worn really well. So as far as like alignment wise and stuff, everything seems to be going all right. When I first got the car, it was about 30,000 miles ago, and it had 930 seconds. So if we figure that all the way around, we're down about 630 seconds, maybe roughly. So we've gone down 330 seconds in about 30,000 miles. So they're wearing pretty good. With how it stands right now at about 6 to 530 seconds, depending where we're at, it's going to be one of those things where maybe I'm going to need tires in about 20,000 miles to maintain, you know, a decent amount of safety. So, because then you're going to be at about 330 seconds. And in the snow, the truck did slide pretty good when coming to a stop. It takes off pretty good too, but it's also all-wheel drive, so you know, you give and take a little bit with how that goes, because the best tire on like a, say, like a lightweight front-wheel drive car might get stuck depending on its ground clearance, and then, you know, maybe not quite the best tire for snow on a all-wheel drive vehicle. Might be able to go through just about anything. It just might not be able to handle the way you're expecting it to. But I've been very happy with these Duelers. They've been very quiet going down the road. The alignment's maintained pretty well on them, which is both the, you know, the vehicle itself and the tires a little bit. So they show very little alignment wear, which I had them aligned as soon as I got the vehicle, so I would expect very little wear for that. But rotating your tires properly is big for that as well, because inevitably your front tires can, because they turn, cause feather edging. That's why when you rotate them to the rears don't turn, so you should wear that feather edging away into like an evenness in the back, and then when you rotate them back up, they're nice and flat and straight again, to be feather edged once more by the front. So I'm pretty happy with these tires. We should probably look at them a little bit online just to get some more details on them. The first place I like going for doing any kind of tire research is TireRack.com. And they're not a sponsor or anything. It's just something that they've been around for a long time. They do their own reviews on tires. They take a lot of reviews from customers. It's a great site to go to try and look at your stuff up. And they've got a lot of different products you can do. They've got research and advice you can look at. Normally they've got like a free delivery once you get so much money on stuff. So, and you can buy both tires and wheels separately, or a wheel and tire package where everything's all mounted and balanced and ready for you. So it's pretty neat how it works out. You can also buy like different like shocks and stuff from them, but we're not going into that right now. So basically, you just click Shop Tires. That'll take you to this screen. So this screen, you can either shop by size or by vehicle. So I've got the 2010 Escalade all-wheel drive already in here, but essentially you can go in here, choose whatever vehicle you have, the year, the model, your zip code, and then if you're doing tires, you know, wheel and tire packages, just wheels, and then all the other crazy stuff they sell as well, and then just click View Results. Once you're at the results, you can filter this for a ton of different things. So if you wanted to filter by price, by brand, category, so that's like, you know, winter tires, all-season tires, all-terrain tires, touring tires, speed ratings, load ranges, eco-focus, noise reduction, sidewall stuff, severe like weather-related ones and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff we can sort it for. So you can see I've already got this filtered down for Bridgestone. And you can see right on top is a Bridgestone Alenza AS Ultra. That is not quite the tire that I have. I've got the Bridgestone Dueler HL Alenza. So that's this one. And you can see there's all the information for it, 285/45 R22 110H. And then you can see here it's got UTQG rating of 600 for tread wear. So where I was looking at about 1/32 per 10,000 miles, if you look at what are the uniform tire quality grade, so UTQG standards and stuff, it's a 7,200 mile course that they go on, and if it goes to 7,200 miles and is pretty much wore out, that's a tread wear grade of 100. Now, if it goes to 14,400, that's a grade of 200. and then 21 600, you're looking at 300. So with that 600 rating, I would expect the tire to go 43,000 miles, 200. It's probably sold as a 45,000 mile tire. But you can click on it, get a little bit more information. You can see kind of pricey at the moment. So the 22-inch tires are still kind of expensive. The crazy thing is how heavy they are too, though. But you can see they've got a good breakdown. So they talk about the Alenza with Unity technology for the crossover and SUV and light trucks, and that the Dueler HL Alenza is designed to provide elegance with an edge as well as year-round traction even in light snow. So not really set up for heavier snow, more like, you know, all-season good traction. But you can see it comes in different sizes, so it shows like all the different sizes it comes in. It lists out the specs. So the UTQG again, the max load per tire is 2,337 pounds, max inflation 44. Tread depth, that's an important one because it starts at 10-30 seconds. So if this started at 10-30 seconds and wears down at about 1/32 per 10,000 miles for me, then we're kind of looking at like a 60,000 mile tire, so I might be looking out that it's wearing a little extra tough for me. But it's going to be a little bit different on every different vehicle, which is kind of where you get into certain things like the reviews. And this is where I really like what they have, because you can kind of look at what people recommended, and then you can even track down something that's maybe similar to your vehicle. So a 2020 Ram 1500 four-wheel drive could be somewhat similar to mine. So you figure large, heavy vehicle, four-wheel drive, the Escalade's all-wheel drive, and then you can kind of go, okay, cool. You have this came factory on the truck. This person's the second owner. They were down in the wear bars at 25K. So these tires wore out really quick for them. It might be one of those things where maybe these Rams, for some reason, wear tires out pretty quick. I mean, I know I'm getting pretty lucky with these tires. I'm happy with what I've gotten so far. They're very quiet. They're not super great in the snow up here in Minnesota, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, so I've got the ability to go with it, but I don't necessarily always have the ability to stop with it. So, and then scrolling down here, you can kind of see this would be much more similar. So this 2009 GMC Yukon would be the exact same body style as the Escalade. They've gone about 500 miles, and they've rated it 5 out of 5. So what they're saying is that for their vehicle, these are the same tires they had originally on the truck, and they had almost 65,000 miles on them. So it might be just how well these tires react to GM vehicles on this particular chassis. So all in all, I've been pretty happy with this one. If I were to rate it, I'd probably rate it about a 4-star one too. I mean, it's got really good traction in the rain. I haven't had any kind of issues sliding around or anything like that. I haven't had any kind of issues like, you know, emergency stopping and any kind of weird, you know, all four wheels lock up and then we're sliding around or something. It's all-wheel drive, so it goes pretty good on dry pavement, on wet pavement, on snowy or icy pavement. Stopping on icy or snowy pavement, not super great, but a big, large, heavy vehicle like the Escalade isn't going to. But if you had a smaller vehicle, more of like a mid-size SUV, you may be able to stop a little bit because you're not carrying quite so much mass. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll check you next time. Whew, that 22, that's a big tire. I really want to move to like maybe a set of 20s. Should be a cheaper tire in the long run, and maybe ride a little bit better.